Usually, cars roar, screech, and rumble, but the Thrust SSC shattered even the sound barrier. It is the first and so far the only land vehicle to officially break the sound barrier. This happened in the Black Rock Desert in Nevada in 1997. At the wheel was RAF pilot Andy Green. His task was not just to drive, but to control nearly 10 tons of steel equipped with 2 jet engines from a fighter plane. This machine, over 50 feet long and with more than 50,000 horsepower, accelerated to a speed of over 760 miles per hour. This means that the Thrust SSC moved faster than the shockwave it created itself. And this was not a laboratory show. The runs were conducted according to all the rules of the International Automobile Federation under sensor control, and with a full technical examination. Engineers recorded parameters at every section of the track: chassis vibrations, air resistance, the behavior of the wheels at supersonic speeds. All of this was done to prove that a car can go faster than sound and still remain controllable. The success became a milestone in the history of transportation. Since then, no one has repeated this breakthrough. The British team plans to build a new car, the Bloodhound, to reach 1,000 miles per hour. But while some are breaking the sound barrier, others are challenging the very nature of motion itself by completely eliminating gasoline. An electric lightning bolt. Not long ago, it seemed that an electric car could never be exciting. It was economical, environmentally friendly, but boring. And then the Rimac Nevra appeared. A hypercar from Croatia created not by an automotive giant, but by a team of enthusiasts who set out to build the fastest electric car in the world. And they succeeded. The Nevera reaches speeds of over 250 miles per hour and accelerates to 60 miles per hour in less than 2 seconds. That's faster than most Formula One cars. 4 electric motors with a combined output of over 2,000 horsepower propelled the car so quickly that passengers experience acceleration comparable to an aircraft carrier catapult. All of this happens without the roar of an engine, just the rush of air and the squeal of tires. Even more importantly, the Nevra is officially a production car. It's not a demonstration concept, but a finished car delivered to real customers. Rimac produces it in small batches, supplying clients all over the world. In races and tests, it has even outperformed the legendary Bugatti Chiron. This car has become a symbol of a new era: speed without fuel, power without compromise. And this is not the limit. On the horizon are projects that use not batteries, not fuel, but the wind itself. And yet, they still move faster than the wind. The wind strike. The idea that a vehicle can move downwind faster than the wind itself sounds like a paradox. Many scientists and engineers confidently claimed that it was impossible. But a device called Blackbird proved the opposite. And it did so publicly with measurements, video documentation, and the support of the scientific community. Blackbird looks like a hybrid between a race car and a windmill. Its main feature: a huge propeller connected to the wheels through a complex transmission. When the vehicle starts moving with the wind, it is the rotation of the wheels that turns the propeller. The propeller, in turn, generates forward thrust. In other words, it accelerates Blackbird until it moves downwind faster than the wind itself. Everything is based on rigorously tested aerodynamics and mechanics. In 2010, Dustin Carroll and his team proved the effectiveness of the machine in practice. Using GPS and with the participation of independent experts, they confirmed that Blackbird is capable of moving faster than the wind pushing it. Later, scientists from the University of California, as well as physicist Neil deGrasse Tyson, acknowledged the validity of the results. This is not magic and not a mistake. It's a mechanical trick and precise calculation. And if wind can become fuel, what happens if you use real jet flames? Jet beasts. When road racing enthusiasts in the mid-20th century wondered, what if you put a fighter jet engine on a car? No one expected those words to be taken literally. That's how jet cars came to be. One of the most famous is the Green Monster, built by Arnie Landsberg in the USA. It was equipped with a jet engine and could reach speeds of over 600 miles per hour. These cars had no transmission, no conventional gearboxes or clutches. The jet thrust pushed the body directly. Driving such a car was like flying. The steering wheel was a formality, the brakes were symbolic. Everything depended on the straightness of the track and the pilot's experience. Some cars would lift off at the start, unable to withstand the overloads. In the 1960s, official races with such cars were held in the United States. Hundreds of spectators gathered on salt flats and deserts to witness the fire, the roar, and the incredible speed. Although they never became widespread, jet-powered cars became a symbol of engineering bravery. But jet-powered monsters had one weakness: they were born out of curiosity. But there are machines born out of necessity. Military vehicles that are not just fast but lethally effective. Military experiments. The military is not afraid to experiment. Where civilian engineers are afraid to take risks, the military creates vehicles that look like science fiction. One striking example is the Ripsaw, a lightweight unmanned tank developed in the USA. It is equipped with remote control, a stabilization system, and is capable of reaching speeds up to 60 miles per hour off-road. It's practically an armored vehicle with the habits of a sports car. But that's just the beginning. The DARPA agency in the USA is funding projects where vehicles can change shape right while moving. For example, wheels turn into tracks and then back into wheels again. This provides versatility when moving over rocks, sand, or asphalt. There are experimental vehicles capable of moving sideways, jumping, and even adapting to inclines. In the USSR, there was a project for ekranoplans, hybrids of airplanes and ships. The most famous was the Caspian Sea Monster, over 300 feet long. It flew just a few feet above the water's surface using ground effect. At the same time, it could reach speeds of over 300 miles per hour. All these machines are not fantasies. They exist, they have been tested, and in some cases even used. But what if humans are completely excluded from such technology? Driverless cars. The driver is the weak link. That's what the engineers developing autonomous vehicles decided. The first attempts to create vehicles without human involvement turned out to be just toys. Today, these are tested at speeds of 300 miles per hour. One of the brightest examples is the robo-race competition. These are races in which fully driverless race cars participate. No drivers, no teams. Only algorithms, sensors, and artificial intelligence. Robocar is a race car with an electric drive and an autonomous control system. It is equipped with LiDARs, radars, cameras, and ultra-powerful processors that allow it to navigate its surroundings without human involvement. And although autonomous cars have not yet beaten the best Formula One teams, they have already proven that they are capable of overtaking humans during training and simulations. Another breakthrough, a project from the University of Plymouth in the United Kingdom. In 1999, their autonomous car drove on real roads without any driver intervention. Since then, technology has advanced to the point where automakers like Mercedes-Benz and Tesla are incorporating autopilots into production vehicles. Driving itself is becoming programmable, and when the car can think for you, all that's left is to watch it move. But what if it moves across water, onto asphalt, and back again without noticing any difference? Amphibious vehicles, combining the incompatible, is every engineer's dream. And nothing illustrates this better than amphibious vehicles, transport capable of moving both on land and on water. One of the most famous examples is the Jeeves Amphibians Humdinga, a 5-seater SUV that can transform into a high-speed motorboat in just seconds. It can reach up to 80 miles per hour on land and up to 30 on water. All this without shifting gears, without changing the design, using a single engine. Gibbs has created an entire line of amphibious vehicles, from passenger cars to military equipment. The uniqueness lies in the jet propulsion system built into the body. When switching to water, the vehicle automatically raises its wheels and activates the propeller drive. The level of engineering is such that Gibbs amphibious vehicles are officially used by the Coast Guard in some countries. There are also legendary examples in the history of amphibious vehicles. The German Schwimmwagen from World War II is an amphibious vehicle that was mass-produced and used in actual combat. It was light, maneuverable, and actually floated, despite its primitive design. Land boats and water jeeps are no longer exotic. But what if the very shape of the vehicle breaks all conventions and looks like an alien object? A marvel of engineering. Usually cars are built according to tried-and-true designs. 4 wheels, a body, a hood. But some engineers deliberately went against convention and created vehicles that are visually shocking. For example, the Dymaxion car, developed in 1933 by the American inventor Buckminster Fuller. It was a 3-wheeled, teardrop-shaped car with rear-wheel steering. Its aerodynamics were ahead of its time, and its fuel consumption was half that of its counterparts. Modern projects are also surprising. For example, the Sphere vehicle, showcased at engineering exhibitions, is a spherical vehicle in which a person sits inside a semi-transparent ball, and movement is achieved through internal gyroscopes and electric drives. This is not a concept from a movie, but a physically functioning prototype. There is also the Hexacar. It's a 6-wheeled platform where each wheel can move independently in any direction. It can drive sideways, rotate in place, and climb over obstacles as if defying the laws of mechanics. All of this is achieved with hub motors and a modular suspension. Some designs are intimidating in their complexity, others in their simplicity, but what unites them? They work, and the next machine is not only complex, it set a world record with electric drive and the efforts of students. Speed on electricity. When students from Ohio State University came together for the Buckeye Bullet project, no one expected them to break world speed records. This electric race car became the fastest electric vehicle in history. In 1999, it accelerated to nearly 320 miles per hour, and that was just the first step. Later, in 2010, the Buckeye Bullet 2.5 surpassed the 330 miles per hour mark using a hybrid hydrogen-electric powertrain. On the Bonneville Salt Flats, the team demonstrated that electric propulsion can not only be powerful, but it can also be dominant. All of this was achieved with 0 emissions and an absolutely smooth, almost silent ride. The project became a sensation among engineers, and not just because of its speed. It showed that a university laboratory can compete with the largest automotive corporations. Every component, from the battery to the aerodynamics, was designed and assembled by hand by students and faculty. This record inspired many electric teams and became a symbol of engineering enthusiasm. But if the electric race car represents the pinnacle of performance, then who holds the title of the heaviest and most powerful? The heavyweights. The heaviest car in the world, the Belaz 75710 mining dump truck. It weighs about 800,000 pounds. This Belarusian giant is capable of carrying 400 tons of cargo at a time. It is taller than a two-story house and wider than most city streets. It is used in mines all over the world, where ordinary trucks are simply powerless. It has two diesel engines, each with about 2,500 horsepower. All 8 wheels are driven. Amazingly, despite its size, the Belaz can reach speeds of up to 40 miles per hour. And all this in conditions of rocks, mud, and overloads. Steering is controlled by hydraulics, and the driver operates this colossus from a high-tech cabin equipped with stabilization and monitoring systems. Another example is the Caterpillar 797F, an American mining dump truck used in the mining industry. Its weight is about 1.5 million pounds when fully loaded. These machines don't just transport cargo, they shape the economy. Without them, the extraction of ores, coal, and other resources would be impossible on such a scale. But the opposite of these giants also deserves attention. Miniature vehicles that amaze with their efficiency and ingenuity. Miniature marvels. When you think of transportation innovations, you usually imagine something bulky and powerful. But true engineering ingenuity is often hidden in miniature. Take, for example, the ELP-50. The smallest production car in history. It was released in the United Kingdom in the 1960s and weighed only about 130 pounds. The car had 3 wheels, 1 headlight, 1 door, and could reach speeds of up to 30 miles per hour. But mini transport is not just an antique curiosity. Today, so-called micromobility vehicles are developing all over the world. They are designed for large cities and dense urban environments. One example is the Japanese Toyota i-Road, which combines features of both a motorcycle and a car. It has 3 wheels, automatic tilting in turns, and is fully electric. Foldable electric scooters and unicycles, which you can take with you on the subway or in an elevator, are also gaining popularity. They are not only compact, but also allow you to cover several miles without emissions and without traffic jams. In cities like Seoul, Amsterdam, and San Francisco, they have already become part of everyday infrastructure. Miniature transport is not a step backward, but a rethinking of our goals. It's not about speed, but about mobility. Not about power, but about precision. But before new forms take over the streets, let's remember those projects that could have changed everything but disappeared from the radar. Failures of the future. The history of technology is full of projects that were ahead of their time but never found their place. One of them is the GM Firebird, a prototype gas turbine car from General Motors. It looked like a jet fighter without wings and actually used jet propulsion. Developed in the mid-20th century, it reached incredible speeds but turned out to be impractical. Overheating, fuel consumption, and complexity of control. Another example is the Dymaxion car, already mentioned earlier. It could carry more passengers, was stable and economical, but its unusual appearance and poor marketing led to its failure. Despite interest from investors, the project was shut down. It's also worth mentioning the Tucker 48, a car ahead of its time. It had a rear engine, disc brakes, swiveling headlights, and numerous safety systems. But it faced opposition from competitors and government agencies. Production was halted after only 50 cars were made. These projects weren't just mistakes, they left a legacy. Many of their ideas were later implemented in mass transportation. And although their creators failed, their developments became the foundation for future achievements. So which of these ideas actually changed the world? The answer is already driving on our roads. A legacy of technology. At first glance, it seems that these fantastic machines remain in museums, archives, and exhibitions. But the truth is, the technologies from these prototypes have long since made their way into everyday life. Adaptive suspensions, once used in military vehicles, are now installed on sporty SUVs. Electric motors with regenerative braking developed for record-breaking race cars now operate in every modern electric vehicle. Sensors and cameras used in autonomous racing are now installed in production cars, assisting with parking, lane changes, and braking. Amphibious vehicle designs inspired engineers to create equipment for rescue services in flood zones. Even complex aerodynamic shapes, first used in experimental cars, have become standard for modern sports models. Even failed projects left their mark. Ideas for three-wheel designs, personal transports, and modular platforms are gradually returning in the form of electric scooters, capsule taxis, and urban microcars. The cars we've talked about are not just engineering toys. They are steps toward the future we are already living in, and perhaps the most amazing ones have yet to be built.